It's Monday, May 9th, and this is Drive Check, a Cardfight Vanguard podcast. You were working last night
Yeah, that
for
was
Mother's Day?
that was a mess.
Why was it a mess? Just a lot of people?
Well, because I got there like the tail end of brunch, so that was really busy, and then it slowed down like throughout the night. It was just a long night because I had brunch in down in Burbank, and I had to drive all the way down to back to where I live, which is like an hour drive normally, and there was really bad traffic, so there was an hour and a half.
Well, it's always bad traffic in California. I think that's
Well,
just
they've been working
expected.
on the freeways for like 20 years now, so
But so you don't even get extra tips and stuff when it's busy, right?
um
Because you're not a waiter.
no, I do, but like the working brunch would have gotten me more, and since I was technically because brunch ran long, and since I was technically on the dinner shift, I didn't get any of the tips from brunch, even though I worked like a good hour and a half of brunch rush. So
Yeah.
it wasn't too bad. It's still
Well, you still
pretty
need to get
decent.
yourself a new job, man. That place sucks. Yeah, I went to a Vanguard league last night that I haven't been to before. It's like 45 minutes away from my house,
Oh God.
and it starts at 5:30 on Sunday night, and it goes until 9 o'clock on Sunday. Island Games out in Centerville, Virginia. But it's like I think it's like actually a really good league. Not necessarily last night, but um, I it's just like such an inconvenient time.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is because you have work Monday and all that.
Yeah, I do have work. Yeah, so if I was to leave there at 9 o'clock, I wouldn't get home until 10. And then I would just sack out because I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning every morning.
Oh
So,
Lord.
well, I'm not a teenager. I have responsibilities and things to do.
Hey, I've
Um,
got responsibilities too.
yeah, you'd like to imagine that. I bought 6 packs yesterday. I bought 3 packs of Binding Force of the Black Rings, set 12 from
Mm-hmm.
original Vanguard, and 3 packs of Moonlit Dragonfang, just trying to get my Exelix
Excellent.
Messiahs. I thought
And
that all of the reverse cards were in Binding Force of the Black Rings, but I think that's just the first reverse
yeah, that was the
cards.
first wave. I think that lasted for 2 or 3 sets, I believe.
Well, I think there's only actually 2 reverse cards in that set. Amon and something else.
There's Amon. Okay, I know the Narukami one is I forget what the name of it is, and then Amon, and then I believe Liqueur is in that set too, just
Oh,
because
Lukier, yeah.
those were the first three I believe they showed in the anime.
I haven't watched the Link Joker series in the anime yet, so
Oh, it's really good.
I actually started the anime back from the beginning again.
Oh gosh. Yeah, the Link
You know,
Joker is real good.
I like it. I like the original ones when Aichi's still like learning how to play, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's really good for somebody who's just learning." And
Yeah,
well, I know
I
things
like
will
yeah,
change as time goes on.
yeah, I like original, but like it's like really like all peaceful and everything, and then Link Joker just like everything just like hits the fan and stuff happens that's not good.
Well, I'll find out.
It's there's more stakes, and I just think the series as a whole is a lot more interesting.
Like T-bone steaks
Yeah, exactly like that.
or Manhattan Strip,
Yeah, they
something
take
like that.
the great natures and they barbecue them up and then they serve them.
The Great Natures are delicious. Yes, Narukami had Eradicator, Vowing Saber Dragon reverse, Demon Marquis Amon reverse, and Silverthorn Dragon Queen Lukier reverse. Some point we'll have to talk about how you play the reverse cards in the Glendios deck, which I may or may not be building over time. So have you played any Vanguard? Oh, so okay, so I got to play against my coworker Alan, That's really the main reason that I went out there, was because that's close to where he lives, so it's convenient for him to go to that league. And he bought the Legend, Toshiki Kai Legend
Yes.
Kagero deck, and it was his first time playing it, so it's going to take him some time to learn how to play it and everything. But that thing was still like awful.
Oh, yeah, to play against. Yeah, well, the only thing that I'd have to say for beginners that are getting into the game, that's a great way to start. First of all, like it has a full 8 card G zone. Well, for now it's an 8 card G zone. Once it hits 16, you might need a couple more cards, but it has a full 8 card G zone, and everything in the deck is competitive. It even has the right kind of like triggers, like 8 critical as opposed to 4 stand, 4 crit, 4 draw, 4 heal, like a lot of trial decks have.
Yeah.
The only thing wrong with it is the secondary grade 3 has like no synergy with the deck whatsoever, and it's just really bad.
And you just swap that out for Overlords.
Yeah, Dragonic Overlord, even the original one is a great card for beginners. It's like 11k, and it's a restanding rear guard for a counterblast 3, but you have Conroe, which can unflip like up to 4 damage every turn, which is just really broken, and the entire deck as a whole is just really good. And I
Yeah.
finally got mine, and it's super fun.
Yeah. Well, he had, there was one, I don't want to say kid, but I think it was like a teenager at the shop who really knew a lot about Kageros, so was guiding him on playing it.
That's cool.
I still beat him in the games we played because you can. So I locked up everything. Obviously, that's what I do. Lock up all the rear guards, but that is the legend itself, the grade 3 that can turn itself into a grade 4. That's still very harsh. So
Yeah, it's real good.
he literally triple critted one time, and I was lucky that I had a perfect guard.
Yeah.
But the one thing, a piece of advice I would have is for all of our listeners: if you're ever helping somebody learn how to play Vanguard, really, and just take this from my few years of experience learning TCGs and playing card games. The way to do it is to allow somebody to play the way they want, take notes on what they did wrong, and then tell them afterwards what they did wrong, just as a list of like, okay, this is what you did, but if you had done this, it would have come out better for you. This was a misplay. Oh, you forgot to stride on this turn. Rather than sitting over somebody's shoulder and saying, "Oh, I wouldn't do that if I was you." No, you want to pick that card. No, don't put that. Don't attack with that guy first. Do it this. Like, you just become hated if you do it that way. Let people think for themselves, make their own mistakes, and then tell them what mistakes they made after the game is over. Because you're taking all the fun out of the game when you're just telling somebody what to do. So, have you gotten any Vanguard in?
I got a little bit in. I played a couple of games with my. Got to break in my new Kagero deck that was finished with the when I got my Legend deck. So that deck is done, and it's super fun and super competitive and super consistent. And I'm able to Legion like every single turn. I'm able to re-Legion and like keep putting triggers back in my deck, and it's just really, really strong.
You get to re-Legion.
Re-Legion and Legion and Legion and Legion and Legion, which is my
Someday
favorite
I'll
mechanic that the game's
learn
ever.
about Legioning.
Yeah.
So I don't have any errata for this week. I don't think we got anything wrong the last time, but it was also like a really long time ago, and my memory is not that good. But I did want to talk about what's been going on in competitive Vanguard. It's technically it's competitive Bushiroad because they do their 3 main games at their different tournaments. The different levels of tournaments for Vanguard. They have store level, regional level, and then continental level. And the regional level right now is called Bushiroad Spring Fest 2016. And it is divided continentally over 3 areas: North America, Europe, and Asia Oceania. So I'm just going to go through where things have already happened and are waiting to happen in different parts of the world. in case we have listeners in other countries who might be interested in attending one of these events. So in Europe, the ones that have already passed are in Athens, Greece, Brussels in Belgium, Paris, France was just this past weekend. And then coming up in Europe, we have Munich, Germany on May 21st and 22nd, Rome, Italy on May 22nd. Spain was canceled. United Kingdom will be held in Cardiff, which I think is like down on the coast of Wales, where they filmed a lot of the Doctor Who, or a couple of Doctor Who episodes. That's on June 18th and 19th at Firestorm Games. And then there is another United Kingdom UK Spring Fest on the same weekend, June 18th, 19th, in Huddersfield, which I have no idea where that is, but it's at the IQ Games Center. Then in Asia, Oceania, there are still some coming. So Indonesia was in March, Philippines was April, Australia was April, New Zealand was April as well. Indonesia, Surabaya was not. So the first Indonesia was Jakarta. The second Indonesia is Surabaya in April. And then coming up, we have in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, May 28th and 29th at Dewan Sempaka, I don't know. But I will say this, Malaysian food is so delicious. If anybody ever comes to DC to visit me, just remind me that you want to get some Malaysian food. I will take you to this place. It's underneath a strip club, but the food is so good.
Is that a paint stripping club?
Yes. And then Singapore will have a Spring Fest on July 9th. So then, North America, the only place that really matters. The ones that have passed, so you got to make your plans for next year if you're in these areas. There was one in Atlanta, Georgia in February, Vancouver, Canada in March, Chicago, Illinois in March, Mexico City in April, Toronto, Canada in April, and then Anaheim, California was this past weekend, but Jack can't tell us anything about it because he did not go.
Yeah.
Coming up, one that I may attend because it's Memorial Day weekend is the New York Spring Fest. It is in White Plains at the Westchester County Center, and that's very near where I grew up when I was growing up in New York, so I'm well familiar with that building. I can't believe it's still standing. Then that's May 28th, 29th. Austin, Texas on June 11th and 12th. Columbus, Ohio on June 18th and 19th. Now that's going to be held at the Origins Game Fair, or the Origins Con, which is a big gaming convention. I may try to go to that. Depends on if anybody I know is going to be going to Origins. And then if you are in Latin America, they will have an event in Bogota, Colombia on June 25th and 26th. And it is listed as a Spring Fest. So, Jack, Spring Fest is what is known as a team league. What does that mean?
So how Team League works is you have 3 members on your team. You each have to play different clans. So, like, even if there's multiple decks in a clan, all 3 of you have to play different clans. And you sit down. You have a specific letter assigned to you. So there's seat A, seat B, and seat C. You each play in that. You each play.
You play Vanguard?
Yeah. You each have to sit at that specific seat for each round, and the other team obviously has the same letters assigned to them. And so how it works is all 3 of you play your games at the same time, and if 2 of the 3 of you win your game, you move on to the next round. All of Bushiroad's tournaments are double elimination. You play one game. So unlike in Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon even, where they have best 2 out of 3, you only play one game, so the rounds go by a lot faster.
Oh, so it's single elimination.
Well, it's double elimination, so if you lose per round you only play one game, but if you lose 2 games, you're out of the tournament.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Now is your whole team is out, right?
Yes. So it depends. So you want to find people that are at least pretty good at the game, or otherwise you get screwed over.
No, you want to find people who you enjoy playing with and who want to go to Springfest with you and have a good time and not take things more seriously than they need to be taken, so that you can actually enjoy yourself and laugh.
Well, we know
Because
how me and Will think differently.
it's not all about winning; it's about having fun. You have to watch the anime. Ooh, I almost said anime. You have to watch the cartoon more so that you can learn it's not about winning; it's about having fun. But the team league is not done like they show in the cartoon. It's not one player goes, then the next player goes, and if the first one won, then the second one loses, so that the third one has to play. It's all simultaneous.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. That's different. People who go to participate in Springfest, they get a Gear Chronicles Steam Fighter Galumu grade 2 card and a special Springfest deck box. The top 8 players, I guess it says top 8 players, but I guess it's the top 8 teams players.
Yeah. Well,
get,
8 teams.
They get special pins, little like brass looking pins, and then first, second, and third place in North America get invitations to the Continental Finals. And the first place team gets page, travel, and hotel. So that's pretty sweet.
So maybe you do want to play to win, Will.
No, because I can afford to pay for myself to go wherever I want, no matter whether I win or don't. Continental Finals for North America are on July 23rd at the Pasadena Convention Center. And I guess that's a place in California.
Yep.
I've never been to Pasadena. Well, I've never
been
to California.
Convention centers everywhere.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I didn't know if Pasadena is like by Los Angeles or by
it's
Sacramento or
it's Southern California. It's closer to, I'm trying to think. It's about the same. I think it's a little closer to me than Los Angeles is. So like if you look at where I am and where Los Angeles is and where Pasadena is, it's like a triangle.
Well,
so
I'm
you're
looking in your direction, and all I see is the wall of my bedroom because you're thousands of miles away. At the Bushiroad Spring Fest, they do play Weiss Schwarz and Buddy Fight as well.
But that's not till the next day.
Yeah, and I think it's called Buddy Fight 100 now.
Oh my goodness.
They've changed the name of it. But they have side events as well. So even if you don't win or you get knocked out of the competition pretty early, there's side events where you can still play and have fun. Jack, you were going to tell us about which decks have been doing well at the Springfest.
So far on Bushiroad's official website, we have, for North America, we have Georgia, Canada, Vancouver, Canada, Illinois, and Mexico City. The other ones will be added eventually. So for Georgia, the first place team was named Team Sunshine.
Yeah. What's our team name?
They're Drive Check, I assume.
Oh,
I don't know.
Why not?
Really... So Team Sunshine had Great Nature, Link Jokers, and Shadow Paladins. Second place had, well, it says first runner-up. So second place had Link Jokers, Nova Grapplers, and Gear Chronicle.
Does it say which flavor of Link Jokers, or does
well, for first place the team had Chaos Breaker, and second place it looks like a weird Messiah build, but it's not pure Messiah.
But they don't give you details of which cards are in there, do they?
No, they do. I'm screenshotting it for you. Okay, and third, should I just go first and second place, or should I? Because this might take a while, just for...
just first and second is good.
Yeah, okay. Oh, well, third place had Mega Colony. That's pretty interesting. Okay, so for Vancouver, first place had Shadow Paladins, Kagero, and Royal Paladins.
Okay.
So that's Sanctuary Guard Dragon, Dragonic Overlord the X, and Phantom Blaster Abyss. Second place, Chaos Breaker, Link Jokers, Thavos, Aqua Force, and No Seal, Angel Feathers. Angel Feathers AF.
That's lit, man.
Oh, dude, it's so lit. So this is for Chicago, Illinois. First place had Team Cry Hard 3. They had a Majesty Lord Blaster Thing Saber build. They had a Time Leap Gear Chronicles, and they had a Phantom Blaster Abyss Shadow Paladins. So every team seems to have Shadow Paladins because Shadow Paladins is probably the best deck. One of the best decks. And then for second place for Illinois, there's Sanctuary Guard Dragon, Dragonic Overlord the X, and Phantom Blaster Abyss once again. For Mexico City, the first place team is Chaos Breaker Link Jokers, Phantom Blaster Abyss Revengers, and Alfred Sanctuary Guard Dragon, which is a different build. I haven't seen that one before. Second place had Angel Feathers AF. They have Tachikaze, and they have Messiah Link Jokers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Will Anderson.
Okay, so should I just do North America or should I do everywhere else?
Just do North America.
Okay, yeah. So that's all that is on their website right now. I know.
So which part of the website is that on? Just in case people want to look for themselves.
So you go to the Cardfight Vanguard .com. You click on deck recipes.
cf-vanguard.com.
Yeah, and you click on. Well, if you type in Vanguard, cf-vanguard.com, it usually goes straight to it. So in the little, there's a bunch of colorful like buttons on the sidebar. You click deck recipes, and it takes you to all of the most recent tournaments and their decks.
So it's not under the tournaments events tab.
No, it's under deck recipes. And so cool. I think the thing that we can take away from this is there's definitely a couple of decks that are definitively the best decks. So you have Sanctuary Guard Dragon Royal Paladins, and you have Phantom Blaster Abyss Shadow Paladins. And I'd say those are definitely two of the best decks. Up there, around kind of like the same area, you have Chaos Breaker, Link Jokers, you have Angel Feathers, and you have Kagero and Gear Chronicle. So I think those are like some of the top 5 decks. If that was 5, I'm not really counting.
Wow, they really do give you the whole deck.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Now, there's somebody who has... well, the picture is secret, but it tells you what the card is.
Yeah, the Bushiroad never fails to screw something up when updating the
website. Yeah. I think... it's a mix of Messiah G's... and
Freeze Ray.
Starvaders.
Well, Freeze Ray Dragon is like its own build, separate from other Starvader builds.
Well, his grade 3s are Chaos Breaker and Chaos Springer.
Oh, no. That's just some Chaos builds run Alter Ego Messiah as like their backup grade 3. But there was another build that had it was for or not Alter Ego, for Judgment is the grade 3.
No, Judgment's a grade 4.
Whatever the grade 3 is that comes in the trial deck, and then for Starvader Freeze Ray Dragon. But we can, I don't know. Right. Did we ever mention that Cole is not here if they haven't noticed yet?
Oh, oops. I just got so into it, man. I got so into it so fast. Yeah. Cole.
If you haven't noticed.
Cole was on a school trip tonight, so he's not here to rein us in on talking about decks and mix them up. Well, this is actually a really good resource. It's a better resource than I was expecting. So yeah, if you go to cf-vanguard.com/en for the English language site, and then deck recipes on the left-hand side, yeah, it tells you exactly what cards were played in the winning decks. So if you just want to replicate something like that, be a net decker to start out with, go for it. I don't think net decking is bad at all,
I
because
don't either.
ultimately
It's
the best decks are typically going to have 90% of the same cards.
Yeah, as long as you take the build and kind of like change it to your fit, as long as like change it to how you like it and change it to what works the best for you, because everyone's play style is different, and everyone always complains about net deckers and like how it's bad for the game. But as long as you use it as a starting point, especially if you're new to the game, like you have nothing else to use, you use it as a starting point, and then you can kind of go from there and change it as you need. Or maybe there's some decks like Thing Blaster. There's like one build you can run for that deck, and there's literally those 50 cards are the only 50 cards you can run, really. And there's really like no variation there.
Who wants to play that boring deck?
Not me anymore, apparently.
The other thing from the other, I know. Jack just put his Royal Paladins in the mail, which is what delayed our evening of recording.
Oops.
But the other half of that story, one thing is to complain about people that net deck. The other thing is to question why somebody has a particular deck, a particular card in their build in a rude way. Why do you have... Nobody puts that card in that deck. Why are you using that card? What a mistake. Whatever. Dude, it's my deck. I'm the one playing it. Nobody's asked you to put your hands on my cards, so nobody asked for your opinion either. It either works for me or it doesn't work for me. I'm the one who wins and loses. All right. Wow. That touched a sore spot there in the Will Anderson life. So I wanted to talk about a little bit this week about the upcoming full booster set that's coming, which is booster set 7 of the G generation. Is that correct, Jack?
Yes.
You're supposed to know these things.
Yeah.
Glorious Bravery of Radiant Sword.
Oh,
which
yes.
makes me think that it's going to be supporting plans that I don't care very much about.
Oh, come on. There's so many good cards have been revealed.
All right, so 104 cards. All right, so what we're going to do this week is we're going to talk about the set in high-level general terms, and then next week when Cole is back, we will talk about cards that have been revealed and give our opinions on the quality of those cards. So in this set, 104 cards, 2 generation rares, 8 triple rares, 12 double rares, 22 rares, and 60 commons. Plus,
and then 12 SPs and 2
secret parallels, or
secret generation rares, which is a new rarity. I don't know what Bushiroad's doing anymore. Just let them
things
be.
extra rare. That's like where you just bite the cow. It's so uncooked. It's still alive.
Okay, so this there are 103 new cards and 1 reprinted card, which I'm not sure if that's the reprint has been revealed yet.
Yeah, I guess that's gonna be I don't think so. I don't know, but it's probably like a secret parallel print.
Well, we'll find out later, won't we? So the set includes support for Gold Paladins, Angel Feathers AF,
Feather AF,
Kagero, Dimension Police, Dark Irregulars, Gear Chronicles,
and Cray Elementals,
and as well as Cray Elementals, and it introduces the keywords Darkness, which is for Dark Irregulars, Rescue, which is for Angel Feathers, and Burst, which is for Dimension Police. And people are salty that their keyword is not Justice, and it makes me so happy that they don't get what they want.
What is the Darkness keyword? What is the main move behind that?
So the way Darkness works is as long as you have put 1 card into your soul during that turn, including by riding or moving to Vanguard Circle. So as long as 1 card moves from somewhere else to your soul during that turn, it counts as Darkness is activated. So that's really easy for Dark Irregulars to activate, considering how much they soul charge.
All right, so Rescue is the Angel Feather keyword.
AF.
Angel Feather AF, and this one's Get Lit, man. This is kind of a strange one. Well, it'll be interesting. So basically, it's rescue plus a number. And we saw with the Aqua Force one, that one is also has a number next
Wave.
to it.
Yeah.
And the number next to rescue indicates that when you activate the rescue ability, whatever the number next to rescue is, you can take that number of cards out of your damage zone. So you move them into your drop zone, and then you deal the same number of damage as damage checks to your Vanguard. So if it's a rescue 3, you heal 3 damage and then do 3 damage checks to your Vanguard, which basically means you can boost power. And if you pull a heal trigger and can use it, then you can heal, like legit heal. You can restand without having to do a drive check. Interesting. But I don't know. I guess there's going to be a special cost to activate the rescue keyword on the Angel Feather AFs. All right. And the last one that you were so excited about, Burst.
So, yeah. So, Burst, Dimension Police's keyword, which is not Justice, which is really good. Okay. So, Burst, how Burst works is a keyword is activated as long as your Vanguard's power is the number above. So, if it says like Burst like 20,000, then your effects with Burst activate. So as opposed to a lot of the keywords now like Unite or Brave, where they have conditions that are there's one condition for every single card with that keyword. It's a lot closer to Aquaforce, where there's specific conditions you have to meet for that specific card.
Yeah, and Burst is not permanent. So if for any reason, say, you get deleted or something like that, your power goes below whatever the burst power level is, then you lose whatever the burst ability is.
Yep.
All right, so the box for Glorious Bravery of Radiant Sword is a picture of Chrono Shindo and Taiyo Asukawa.
So that's the Gear Chronicle player, the main protagonist of Vanguard G, and then the dude that plays Gurgui, Gold Paladin.
Oh, the little Gold Paladin guy.
Yeah.
The guy whose start deck it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually, when I was at the league yesterday, saw somebody with the, he was playing Gurguits, and it was basically the start deck, but he's like, well, I have all these cards from previous decks. So, whatever. The slogan for the booster packs, which I never even think of, but they do have a slogan printed on them.
You have to read this super dramatically. Are you ready?
Stride forth. A radiant future is in these hands. How was that?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I give it a solid 7 out of 10.
How would you do it, Mr. Director, Mr.
Cinema? Stride forth a radiant... I can't. No. Yours was just too good. I can't do it.
You're not in drama? Come on, drama it up, dude.
Stride forth, a radiant future is in these hands.
Right, you missed that there's a punctuation after fourth.
Hands.
No.
Fourth.
Stride forth.
Stride forth.
A radiant future is in these hands.
Alrighty. Each display includes a random 2 of 6 promo cards.
Yes, 2 of 6 promo cards.
So we've got Cool Goal, which is a reprint of a Gold Paladin, which is when this is called from your deck, you draw a card. So it's Generation Break 1. So that was a promo that had the potential to go up in price, so it's good that got a reprint. The reprint I'm most excited about is definitely Dragonic Burnout, because that was like a $60 double rare. And then now, because it's getting this promo treatment, it's dropped all the way down to like 15, 16.
So is there anything I care about in here?
Well, do you play any of the clans that are supported in this set? I guess
the promos are all just for these clans.
Yeah.
Literally, they could not have made a set that had any fewer clans that I would be interested. I don't know. I'm thinking about getting into the Angel Feather AFs.
Oh, Ooh. So,
Maybe that'll be my third clan instead of Bermudas anymore, because Bermudas are just too expensive.
yeah. Well, the thing is, they're reprinting the most expensive card in the set, so you should be good to play that deck once that gets reprinted.
Wait, Bermudas?
Yeah, the $200 Olivia GR Stride.
But I mean, I haven't bought Bermudas in such a long time that I
Oh,
would have to
okay.
do it. All I have is like the original Bermudas and some of the second year.
Yeah,
So I
well
don't
that
even have any of the duos or anything like
well
that.
that was definitely the most expensive card, and that's getting they're reprinting the set that the Bermudas came out in, and Olivia is being printed in the set as a generation rare still, and it's also being printed in the set as a rare with the same art. So you'll get it more often, and it'll be easier to get.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of tired of Bermudas, and Angel Feathers do weird things, and I like to make weird plays. So, I mean, it'll also give me a reason to buy booster packs, right?
That's true.
Because, I need a reason to buy booster packs. I don't just buy them for that pack opening high. Ugh.
Definitely not.
All right, so we will talk more about Set 7, Glorious Bravery of Radiant Sword, when Cole is back with us, when he has returned from Chicago. So our term of the week is phase. Phase is something that is mentioned in the rules and in the instructions and sometimes on the cards. There are 6 phases of your turn when you play Vanguard. So I just wanted to go through what they are so that you can understand if something happens during a particular phase of play that you know to apply it at that time. So the first phase is the stand phase, and that's just where you take any of your cards that are rested and make them stand, which basically means that they're available to attack or to
Unless they
boost.
were frozen by Mega Colony the previous turn.
Well, then they're not allowed to stand. Correct.
Yeah.
And actually, one thing I learned from that annoying guy who was telling us how to play Vanguard,
What if he's one of our listeners, Will? How will you feel then?
then I love him and I think he's fantastic. No, and I'll be honest. I mean, he helped a lot, right? He definitely helped Alan learning how to play Kagero.
Yeah.
And he, made some things clear to me that hadn't been clear about my Messiahs. So it helped. It's just the way that he did it that was frustrating.
Yeah, but people can learn and people can change.
Yes. So the thing that I learned was you typically, if you do a regular lock on a opponent's card, or actually a lock on any card, you lock it as stand. And then if you Omega lock a card, you lock it as rest. Now, a typical lock at the end of whatever player's turn, their cards become unlocked. An Omega lock at the end of the first turn, their cards do not become unlocked and they're locked for another turn. So when you Omega lock, you lock them at rest. Then when that first turn passes, that they have to remain locked, you move them to locked as stand, just as an indicator to remind you that they will unlock at the end of the next turn.
Interesting.
Yes, and mega colonies, as you learn early on in the Vanguard cartoon, I almost said anime again. They spew webs at your dudes, so that they are not allowed to stand. Interesting mechanic, but nobody plays mega colony.
Oh, burn.
Well, except for that one guy who was in the top 3, right?
Yeah.
In Spring Fest.
Yeah. Well, there's 3 teams, 3 people per team. More top 9, but that's okay. We'll give it to him.
The draw phase is the one that a lot of people, when they get nervous and are freaking out during a competition, they forget to do.
Oh no! What happens is people draw before they stand, and if you have an opponent that is how do I put this? Not a nice person, they can call a judge on you, and you can get an infraction for drawing before you stand your cards.
Now, there's lots of reasons you can get infractions.
So a joke,
lots of mean people out there.
Yeah, a joke that I would always make with my friends when back when the game was in its heyday in my area, and there was like 20 of us that all went to team league. Um, we would always say, "Did you drew before you stood?" And you have to make sure that you don't draw before you stand, and you stand and then draw
Well,
because the rules.
yes. If you ever play Vanguard against me, and I don't think this will ever change about the way that I play, at the beginning of every of my turns, I literally say out loud, stand and draw. Right? As I do those things, I say, I stand my dudes and draw. Stand and
Stand
draw.
my dudes.
And sometimes, if I've already planned out what I'm doing for that turn, I say, stand, draw, and ride. Just remember to do those things in that order. And nowadays, so ride is the third phase. And you want to start paying more attention when you actually ride your Vanguard, because there are abilities that will trigger on ride. So if those do trigger on ride, you want to resolve the ability before you move on to the next thing. And that's actually something I did learn from that frustrating. I moved from annoying to frustrating kid this weekend. On my grade 3 Messiah, there is an auto ability that if I lock one of my own rear guards, I can lock an opponent's rear guard and for a counterblast 1 and gain 5,000 power. Now, here's the thing. If it's an auto ability on stride. But if I move on and do the stride card's ability before resolving that auto ability, I can't go back and do it.
Yeah, you
So you
cannot.
have to do things in the right order and pay attention. So if you have something that's on ride, then resolve that on the ride before you move on to whatever your next action is going to be. Nowadays, also, even though stride is not a phase, I typically actually say ride and stride.
I think, is it technically not a phase, or because I know, because after the ride phase is the main phase, you definitely have to stride at the beginning of your main phase. You can't do anything. So, like, if your stride has something in its effect, like Holy Dragon, Religious Soul Saver Dragon, when you stride him, you counterblast 1 and persona flip. Then you give up to 3 of your units plus 5,000 power. So if you only have 2 units on your field when you stride him, you can't call another unit to give that unit the 5,000 power. You have to make sure you have a unit ready on the field the previous turn.
So you can't you have to stride before you call.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, well, I was looking at the official rules and not seeing a stride phase yet, but I may have been looking at something that's not updated. We can errata that for next week
If
to see if
need
they've
be,
added
yeah.
a stride phase. But it is ride, stand, draw, ride, then stride. Then you have your main phase. And your main phase, even though it sounds like that would be when you're doing your actual lots of thinking and stuff, your main phase is typically where you're calling things to rearguard circles and resolving any abilities that will occur because you have called something to a rearguard circle, or if you have any activated abilities that you want to take advantage of. That's when you do those types of things, because the next phase is the battle phase, and that's actually where you attack. And I think in a later episode, we'll go through the battle phase, just because that one is broken down and is so detailed.
Yeah.
It's
That's
worthwhile to look at the battle phase in depth.
Yeah, that's definitely something that'll happen eventually. And then after the battle phase, you have your end phase. That's where you take your stride off of your Vanguard circle and put it face up into your G zone. That's where any of your effects that activate at the end of the turn occur. And so you don't really do anything actively during this phase of the game. You just have
Not
your
true.
lingering effects.
Not true. Because, and I'll just say that, disagree with you a little bit there, right? So one of the things that's very key in the end phase for the clan that I've been playing recently, my Link Jokers, is you unlock during the end phase.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
my Link Jokers have abilities that trigger on unlock, So I actually go through and activate those
Activate all
abilities
these.
in the
Okay.
end phase. So if you want a reference for that, Dark Metal Chameleon, when he is unlocked, he countercharges 1 damage, which means that takes it from flipped to unflipped. So I can unflip damage by unlocking my Dark Metal Chameleon during my end phase. So I'd say that's pretty active because that's powering me up for my next round when everything costs a counter blast these days.
Yeah, no, that's true. I guess I was wrong.
So you can't do damage and you can't anything like that, but there are still activities that you undertake during your end phase. Well, I think that's everything that we want to talk about this week. We don't want to have too much fun without our friend Cole around. Miss Cole. But he should be back next week. So I would just ask, we've been in iTunes for a couple of weeks now. I'd appreciate it if folks could go into iTunes and find our podcast and give it a review in iTunes. It helps people to find us, boost our rankings. Say thanks to our executive producer, SBJ. And we actually hit a milestone on the other podcasts I do with SBJ. It's super effective. That we were number 5 in video games today in iTunes, which I'm really happy about.
Well, our podcast is more popular than that one, obviously. So,
well, I know we're working to catch up with Drive Check, but to be number 5 in iTunes was just really impressive after all the hard work that SBJ puts into it. Super effective, and the small part that I contribute to that podcast as well. I think it is the new music that SBJ has been using in It's Super Effective from Nick Burgess, who also provides the music for our podcast, which is probably partially why we're so successful. So thanks to Nick for that. And you can reach me. The easiest way is on Twitter. It's at WashinTheSink, WashinTheSink.
You can reach Cole at COLE_MCCUNE if for whatever reason you want to get a hold of him. I don't know why you would.
Talk about us behind our backs.
And then you can reach me at Drive_Jack. Thank you guys for listening to this week's episode of the Drive Check podcast. Check, please.
Hey!
I practiced